Hi folks, and I just wanted to show you my latest addition to my range of cameras, and obviously you will see that this is not an SLR, but it is in fact the GoPro Hero 4 Silver. I always tempted to say the 3, but yeah, I'm sure at the moment I bought this on day one, so it was released on a Sunday, went straight into my local Curry's PC World, just went in straight in there, bought it, slapped, done, and got it. I didn't even really wait for many reviews, I just knew I wanted one. I wanted one ever since the GoPro 3, but never really had the resources to get one. But now that I'm doing a little bit better, I thought I would buy one, really just to make little videos for my latest hobby, which is RC cars. More to that later, but I wanted to tackle this from a different perspective. Right now the GoPro for Silver has had many reviews and loads of people kind of talking about it, poking it, giving you stats, this, that and the other. But I wanted to show you, give my opinions on why I bought this and why I've been playing more with this than say more something traditionally I play with, which is an SLR. This is not my main body anymore. This is just a older Canon D700, which I don't really use anymore. I'll use it just for chucking about and that kind of stuff. But I've gone Canon. Oh dear, haters. Anyway, but since I've bought this, I've been trying to use it every day. I work, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but I work, so I don't really have time as much time as I'd like to play with this. But when I do, oh my word, okay, first of all, size, okay? Now, I would say there's no argument here that, this D7000 is still considered a small, relatively small DSLR, but, there's no comparison. The size alone just gives it away. And you'd probably say, well, really, does size really matter? And yes, it does. Because I realised that although the GoPro is primarily a video camera, its photo performance is actually very good, and I'll post some links to some photos I've taken recently. But yeah, it's low light needs to be something I wouldn't even use it to low light, but for everything else, it's fantastic. Street photography, it has really changed the way I do street photography, because I was going to go for something like a Fuji X100S or one of the Sony Alphas, I think they're called, because they're quite small and compact and discreet, but none of them are as discreet as this. And you could argue, well, the cameras I just mentioned are better. Well, they probably are, but this is smaller and this is more compact, and for the kind of photography that I want, it's fine. It's more than fine, it's fantastic. Some may argue, well, it's only got a really tiny little lens, a tiny little sensor, but that's fine. Street photography to me really isn't about technical quality. Street photography for me is really about capturing the moment, and so long as I have sufficient light, which is pretty much most of my waking day, then it's more than adequate. I can take sneaky shots of people just being themselves out in the streets without any problem whatsoever. I've yet to really properly test that, but hopefully I'm going. Well, I wanted a new camera because I'm going to Cambodia in less than a month's time, and I wanted a discreet camera to take with me, because I wasn't sure how people would take it if I was just walking around with a. Even this is not exactly subtle. So I wanted something. I was looking at one of the kind of mirrorless lenses, mirrorless cameras and so forth. But for this, perfect. I've tested it, not in a street photography sense, but tested in just walking around randomly kind of test. Anyway, so that's one. Secondly, I would say it's just. Can I say fun? I'm going to say fun, because with this, I haven't got the stuff with me. The rest of it, I'll bring the rest up in a second. But I can go really low, I can go really high, I can go really wide, I can go quite narrow. And to be honest, one of the reasons I like people. Okay, let me go back a step. People ask me all the time, "What's the best lens to have?" Well, I know I want this. I want f this and f that. Blah 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 blah. 50mm f1.8, whether it's a Nikon or Sony or Canon. 50mm f1.8 is my favourite lens of all time, and I've got some big lenses. Well, hey, I've got some big lenses, and to be honest, this is the champion, because for the same reason this is a fixed lens. It's not particularly well, I can kind of go wide, narrow, and all that. I'll show you later on. But 50mm makes you work, makes the photographer work. If you want to get closer, you move closer. If you want to go wider, you move back. If you want to get a funky angle, you have to move. It makes you move. It makes you think. It doesn't do the work for you like some of the other lenses does. Same with this. With this little camera, you really have to kind of get up, you know, really close to it, or kind of really wide, and it makes you work. And I love that. I love being able to not just, you know, there's nothing really you can. It's very basic. There's nothing really you can twiddle. The settings. Let me kind of go through. I'll just go through the photo stuff because that's what I'm trying to figure out. So if I do, I think it's this. I think it's no, it must be that one. Yes. So I've got modes. So I've got single and continuous and night. That's it for mode. Megapixels, I always go 12. I don't see the point in having these other ones, to be honest. I really don't. Just go 12. Spot metering, which is quite cool. That's, again, but that's very basic spot metering. You can't. It's basically center metering, and that's about it. But at least it meters. I mean, it's great for if you're trying to get the right exposure. ProTune. Now, I've not really played with ProTune that much, but I'm sure there are other reviews that will tell you how great or how rubbish it is. I have not tested it properly yet myself. White balance auto, leave it on auto. Color. Now color GoPro, again, I would try and figure out, well, I know what it's going to do. Flat is great for if you want to just do, if you want to do your own editing, which is probably what I should be doing actually. I should go on flat. And whereas GoPro will try and add its kind of dynamic adjustments to color tones, white balance, contrast, curves, and stuff like that. But when it's flat, it will take it in its rawest format. No, but it's not shooting raw. It's not shooting raw, but it'll try and take it in its most basic format, so you can make adjustments yourself, so it doesn't go bonkers when you adjust those curve levels. ISO. Now the ISO is interesting. It can go. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. On video, you can go up to ISO games. No, you can't. You can't really see that probably, but on video, you can go up to 1600. But it seems like only on photo it goes up to 800. That's fine. Again, I only use it for outside anyway. Sharpness, high, medium, or low. Not much to say about that, but I should be putting it on medium, to be honest. EV compensation. What a lifesaver! Because there's no other manual control. There's no way to adjust the aperture. No way to quickly adjust ISO and shutter speed. This can actually make a massive difference to your photos when it comes to metering. To be honest, I don't know what else they could have done and there's no way to kind of make that easily accessible, without making this thing even bulkier. But it's fine. Once you set the compensation, even compensation, you should be all good to go, unless you go inside, outside, blah blah blah. White balance, I always leave it on auto. Yeah, I should leave it on auto. It's fine. And that's about it. Well, I say that's about it. That's a lot of features for what is essentially a video camera with photography kind of bolted on. So you can see all the controls there for as a photography camera. But let me kind of talk about very quickly, try and keep this shorter. These cameras, to me, they're not toys. They're tools. They make me money. They are good for capturing photos and moments when they count. I know people are banging on about, oh, iPhone can do this and Androids and this, that can do that, but to be honest, I would not trust those cameras when the shot matters. So when I see the shot matters, if you're photographing, say like I do a wedding, and there's key moments like the rings are being exchanged, the kiss, walking down the aisle, all that kind of stuff. You need that camera to guarantee that shot. Absolutely, there's no excuse in this day and age for missing that shot. Unfortunately, a GoPro or an iPhone 6 or whatever will miss that shot. Wow, you might be lucky. You might be lucky in getting that shot, but you can't afford to be lucky when you've been a pro. This stuff like this will guarantee the shot, but which is great, which is fantastic. I mean, if you want something if you're especially doing this as a profession, then people are relying on you to get that moment. They don't want excuses. So that's where the SLR comes in, and I'm not going to move away from SLRs anytime soon. However, the mirrorless lenses, mirrorless cameras, and something as discreet as the GoPro 4, because of its size, because of its very nature, because of its robustness, because of all the kind of accessories you can buy for it that cater for action photography or discreet photography and that kind of stuff, it wins. It wins easily. And one big advantage, I can just stick this in my pocket and just kind of forget it. I can't stick this in my pocket. The D7000 is small by SLR standards, but it's still quite cumbersome. And it's either around my neck or in a bag. This I can stick in my pocket and can easily forget about it. So I wasn't really kind of sure where I was going to go with this, but all I can say is I have a at my disposal in my case just over there. I have a Canon 5D Mark III, a Canon 6D. I'm looking at possibly getting a 7D later on, 7D Mark II. But in the 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks I've had this, I've not really put it down, and I've only picked up the Canon to do jobs. I've not used them for fun. I've been using this for fun. So guys, thanks for if you've come this far, thanks for listening to my warblings, and let me know what you think. Do you think the GoPro Hero cameras have a place in the SLR era or the mirrorless era? I mean, I'm just talking as a photo camera. No, I don't think anyone would buy this just as a photo camera. I think they would buy it primarily as a video camera. But what do you think? Would you do you have a GoPro? Do you use it for photography? If you do, great. What do you use it for? And if you think it's rubbish as a photo camera, please comment below and tell me why. I'd like to think that I'm open to other people's opinions and thoughts, and let's start a debate. So, thanks for listening to my warblings. You're being filmed, and I'll catch you in the next one.